Hello, thank you so much for waiting. To begin with, I need to see your medical card. Thank you. Okay, I'm just entering your medical record number. All right, so because this is your first time at this particular clinic, I have to ask you several questions. Can you please tell me your native language? English, okay. Let me go ahead and get my English folder here then. So what I have to do to check you in before you can see the doctor is I have to go through a series of questions. Now, some of these are going to be your basic information, and then some of them are going to be based upon your mood symptoms. So since this is a prenatal appointment, that's why we do that. So I'm going to be asking you several questions on your lifestyle, in addition to some mental and emotional things, and that information is then sort of transmitted to the doctor, who will discuss in detail with you during your appointment time, okay? So please bear with me as I have my cheat sheets here, and we're just going to begin with your basic info. Okay, so let's take a look here. I've got your medical record number, and just please confirm the spelling of your first name and your last name. Thank you so much. And your home address, hon? Okay. And what city is that located? Very good. Okay, your date of birth. And in case of emergency, who should we contact? Mr. Green Beauty. Okay. And your ethnicity. And any religious preferences that you would like for us to document? Okay. Your contact phone number, please. Very good. And your marital status, married, single, domestic partner, married, okay. And your occupation. Wonderful. And your employer's name. And where is that located, hon? Okay. Very good. So just some basic information here. What was the first day of your last period? You need to get the app out. Oh, I know. Isn't that the most handiest thing, is how we can track like that? And it's so important for the young girls to do the same, don't you think? Okay. First day, your last period. Okay. And are you currently breastfeeding? No, you don't have any children. Okay. And your planned delivery site, are you planning to deliver at hospital or at home? Okay. And now we go into something called pregnancy circumstances, okay? So what is your living situation? Are you living with the baby's father? Are you living with your partner? Are you living with parents, other relatives, friends, alone? Okay. And what is your partner's name? Okay. And and what is the name of the baby's father? Okay. All right. And so in this case, the baby's father and your partner are the same person. I see that. Okay. And at the time you became pregnant, were you wanting to get pregnant? wanting to get pregnant but not at this time, or did you really not want to get pregnant at all? You were wanting the pregnancy. Great. Okay. Well, yes, that changes things, doesn't it? In all of us, it can be quite the experience when it comes as a surprise, don't you think? Okay. And do you plan to begin a birth control method after the baby's born? Okay. And which type were you interested in? Just abstinence, the pill, patch, condoms, IUD? Okay. Or withdrawal or rhythm? Okay. And do you plan to breastfeed? Okay. And is this a surrogate pregnancy? No, it is not. And will this baby be placed for adoption? No, it will not. Okay. And is your living situation safe or unstable in any way? No, it feels pretty good. Okay. And within the last year or since you have been pregnant, have you been hit, slapped, kicked, or otherwise physically hurt by someone? No. Okay. Yes, and please know that if those circumstances ever change, there are many resources that we offer to you. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Okay, so now we're going to go through some of your past medical history. And I'm going to be asking you if you have had any of the following medical conditions. And you tell me yes or no. And if you would like to provide comments as a follow-up to the yes or no, you're most welcome to do that. Otherwise, I will simply be entering a Y or an N on the computer. Okay. Have you ever had an abnormal pap test? No. Anemia? No. Rheumatoid arthritis? No. Lupus? No. Blood transfusion? No. Bleeding or excessive bruising when you are cut or injured? No. Blood clots? No. Cancer? No. How about the chicken pox? That's a yes. When you were a child? Okay. Diabetes? No. How about any diabetes since you've been pregnant? No. Gallbladder disease? No. Heart disease? No. High blood pressure? No. Hepatitis B? No. Hep C? No. HIV positive? Nope. Genital warts? Nope. Genital herpes? No. Chlamydia? Okay, no. Syphilis? No. How about frequent bladder infections? No. Okay. Kidney stones? No. Kidney infection? No. How about asthma? Yes. Okay, you have a history of asthma and lung disease. How about that? No. Okay. Almost done. How about tuberculosis? Have you ever tested positive for that? No. How about depression? Yes, a history of that. How about migraines? Yes. And have you had problems with infertility or getting pregnant? No. Okay. Seizure? No. Thyroid problems? No. And major surgery? No. Alrighty. Now we're going into, let's see, so I just want to verify that have you ever been pregnant before? And this includes any pregnancy history. This includes any abortions or miscarriages. No, you have not. Okay, so that means we skip forward. Okay, and that's that one. All right, now we have just a couple more things and you'll be on your way. I do certainly appreciate your patience. Okay, so let's move on to now there are some genetic screening questions, but I think we may move on from that. I'll let you fill that out a little bit later and you can talk about that with your doctor first. And of course, it is always within your choice to accept or decline any genetic testing. Okay, so here we've got just the screening questionnaire, and we're going to begin by asking you about your health. And the emphasis for this is that here at our medical facility, we really take into consideration your mental and emotional health as well as your physical health. We know that all of these components combined really can influence your pregnancy experience as well as the labor and delivery. So I do want to reassure you that these questions and your answers are confidential. They'll be discussed with your doctor after this intake. So our first question for you, and if you could please completely and honestly answer this, and it will be included in your medical record, again, knowing it's all confidential. Okay, so has anyone in your family ever had an alcohol or drug problem? Yes, they have. Okay, and who was that? Was it yourself, your spouse, parent, or other relative? Okay. If you have a partner, are you concerned about your partner's use of alcohol and drugs? Okay. Have you occasionally drank more alcohol or used more drugs than you planned on, or spent more money on drugs or alcohol than you planned? Yes. Okay. And when was that? When you were 21. Yes, well, gosh, yeah, that was quite some time ago, wasn't it? Okay. Have you ever felt you ought to cut down on your drinking or drug use? No, because you don't really drink even before the pregnancy. Okay. And you don't use drugs. Okay. Have you ever felt that have people ever annoyed you by criticizing your drinking or drug use? No. Okay. Do you feel you have trouble staying off cigarettes, alcohol, or drugs during your pregnancy? Nope, not applicable. Okay. And how many alcoholic drinks does it take for you to begin to feel the effects when you do drink? If you go out, just 1 to 2 drinks? Yeah. Okay. So now, in general, how often have you used the following? It's never, monthly or less, weekly or daily, okay? And I'm going to give you specifics, but again, the options are never, monthly or less, weekly or daily. So in the last 12 months before you were pregnant, how often did you drink alcohol? Monthly or less. How about cigarettes? Never. Sleep medication? Never. Anxiety medication? Marijuana? Cocaine? Methamphetamine? Heroin? Or any other drugs that you feel like you want to mention here? Okay. Since pregnancy, how about any of those? No. Okay, very good. All right, so now we're moving on to, let me just verify real quick that we've got everything else. Okay, I've asked you that. One thing I wanted to ask you, and this is just for statistics, what is the highest year of school you have completed? Okay. And what is the yearly household income before taxes in your home? Okay. Very good. And we're on our last questionnaire. Thank you so much. And then the doctor will be with you. Okay. So for this one here, we are talking about your mental health, okay? So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you're going to say not at all, several days, more than half the days or nearly every day. Okay? And this is going to target over the last 2 weeks. So I really want you to think about over the last 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by any of the following problems? Have you had little interest or pleasure in doing things? Okay. Feeling down, depressed, or hopeless? Okay. Trouble falling or staying asleep or sleeping too much? Okay. Feeling tired or having little energy? Okay. Poor appetite or overeating? Feeling bad about yourself or that you are a failure, have let yourself or your family down? Okay. Trouble concentrating on things such as reading the news or watching television? Moving or speaking so slowly that other people could have noticed? Or the opposite of being so fidgety or restless that you've been moving around a lot more than usual? And how about any thoughts that you might be better off dead or hurting yourself in some way? Okay. And in addition to that, how about feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge? Okay. Not being able to stop or control worrying? Feeling unproductive at work or other daily activities? Okay. How about having trouble focusing on achieving your goals? Very good. And again, one last time, I do have 3 questions that are very important for you to answer. You are most welcome to decline answering. Are you currently in a relationship where your partner hits, slaps, kicks, or hurts you? Are you currently in a relationship where you feel threatened by your partner? And have you ever had a partner who physically hurt or threatened you? Okay. Very good. Okay, so now that we have gone through quite that extensive background, thank you so much. I'm going to put all this together into your folder here. This is yours to keep, yours to reference and keep for your records. And what I do is this information that I have put into the computer is transmitted to your doctor, who will be seeing you shortly. So for any of your answers that may have indicated something, the doctor will follow up with you in the medical appointment. So if you just have a seat right over there, he'll be with you shortly. Thank you. Thank you so much for waiting. It's wonderful to meet you. I am Dr. Green Beauty. Oh, good. Okay, that's how you found me. Very good. So before we get started, please just confirm your first and last name, your date of birth. Great. Okay, so I see, looks like you're about 28 weeks along. Good. Okay, so the way that this appointment is going to look is I'm first going to ask you, well, first we're going to take your weight, and then I'm going to ask you some questions as we go through and measure the belly. Yeah, great. So why don't you go ahead and stand on the scale right there. Just like that. Yeah, go ahead and take your purse off. Okay, good. I'm just waiting a second. Okay. So based on your the records I got from the other facility where you were seen, I'm just noting the difference in the weight gain, and you're right on track for that given how far along you are. Very good. And how's your nutrition doing? You're craving some sugar. Oh, yes. Okay. And how about your protein intake? How's your protein? Okay. Yeah, I really would encourage increasing your protein intake. Sometimes this can be very easy, like including eating just scrambled eggs in the morning, adding some beans to your food as well. Yeah, protein really helps at this stage in the increased hunger. Okay. And how about your fluid intake, your water in particular? Soda and juice does not count. Okay. Yeah, so same thing with the fluids. I really encourage you to increase the amount of fluids. You really want something like 80 ounces or more a day, okay? Very good. Do you have a large water bottle that you can carry with you? Oh, perfect. Yeah, you're just going to fill that up, and you're constantly going to be filling it up. That's definitely a fact, but you just carry it with you. And that way it really helps keep you hydrated, okay? Okay, very good. Okay, so go ahead and have a seat over on the bed, and we'll go ahead and examine you. All right, and I see you're comfortable here. Now let me just put my gloves on, and we'll get started. And what I'm going to begin with is first getting the heartbeat. I'm going to take a look and see what I can find for the baby. And then I'm going to measure the belly. And this is, because of where you are in your pregnancy, we don't need to do an ultrasound. You've had that already, and then they won't start up again until a little bit later. And of course, we don't need to do any vaginal exams either. So let's begin with the heartbeat as I get my tools here. Yeah, just relax. You're doing great. Are you comfortable? Okay, here we go. Oh, good. I've got it. Okay, just give me one moment. Oh, that baby is moving around so much. Can you feel that? Yeah. Come on, little thing. Let me get that heartbeat. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right. Yes, that's a little wiggle worm in there, isn't it? Okay, so that heart rate was about 150, which is really great, really normal. Yes, I can feel the movements now. And, speaking of that, can you tell me a little bit about the baby movements? Okay, so you're definitely feeling them. And are you noticing any hiccups or any regular sleep-wake cycles? You are. Okay, very good. That's wonderful. We really want to hear that. And with the hiccups, you're not quite sure. I know it's a very strange feeling. Some babies get hiccups more than others. Some may not at all. So it really doesn't matter if you experience them or not. It really doesn't indicate anything at all. So the heart rate is good. And now let's go ahead and measure the size here. What I'm measuring is the uterus moves up, right, when the baby comes. So I'm measuring from the very top up here, from the tip of your uterus all the way down into the pelvic area. So it might feel a little bit uncomfortable as I do need to get right. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, hun. Get right there onto that pelvic bone. Good, and that's my starting point. Okay. here we go. Yeah, just bear with me. Okay. Okay, good. Let me just double check that. Very good. And then coming across here. Okay, very good. All right. Okay, that all looks really good. So we've discussed nutrition. We've talked about increasing your fluids. Speaking of fluid, there is one thing I wanted to ask you. Have you noticed any swelling in any of your extremities? There was one day. Okay, and what was going on that day? Can you tell me what your level of physical activity was? And how about your salt intake that day? Okay, yeah, so let me just reposition here. And I'm just going to feel a little bit down for any swelling in your lower extremities. So go ahead and just sit tight. Yeah, let's look at that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not feeling anything. Okay. Good. That all looks good. And so no swelling there. How's your sleep doing? Okay, good. You're doing fine. Okay, and are you sleeping with any support? Any pregnancy pillow? Good. Yeah, and I'm just looking up here, making sure everything is good. Beautiful belly you have, absolutely beautiful. And how's your belly button doing? It's starting to stretch. Oh, yes. And has that been painful for you at all? Good. Okay. All right. So one thing, given how you mentioned the pain in your lower belly, I want to show you something that we offer some of our patients. So let's go ahead and review that. You can get dressed, and I'll be right back. Okay. So what I wanted to show you was this belly band, and this is something we offer our patients, like I said. And this is a really unique belly band that can really help support the growing size of your belly that begins to create that round ligament pain. So the way that this works is you simply open it up just like this. And this part here goes on the belly. So it does wrap around the low back and it velcros on your right side. So just like this. You put this right on the belly as low as you can, and this wraps around the hip. You bring around this other side and it velcros together nice and tight. So it can be very big, it can be very much smaller. This adapts to all sizes. And you wear this all day if you'd like. You can wear it when you exercise. You can wear it when you go to work. It also provides some low back support as well. So overall, your everything looks good. All of your stats are good, and I think at this rate we'll see you back in 6 weeks. Oh, very good. It was so good to meet you, and we'll see you next time. Please call us if anything comes up. Alrighty, bye-bye.